Hello, everybody, and welcome to Excipient Talk, brought to you by galenIQ. My name is Michael Black. I am sales manager for galenIQ at Beneo, and today I'm speaking to Ali Yousefinejad. Hello, Ali, and welcome to the podcast.
Hello, Michael. Thank you very much for inviting me. And today I'm very glad that I'm here and I have this chance to talk to you.
Okay, great. Nice to have you here. So, first of all, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Ali, as Michael said, and I was technical trainee by the Suzuka and from last year. And since about 1 month ago, I am the employee in CRDS in the Research and Development Center in the Suzuka in the Pharmaceutical Technology Group, and I'm a scientific employee at the moment there.
Okay, great. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
So, what are we going to talk about today?
So today we're going to talk about the lyophilization or freeze drying.
Okay, great. So, first of all, the major question, what is lyophilization?
Yeah. So lyophilization or freeze drying is the gentle dehydration process which is going to be used for various products and materials using sublimation. With the use of sublimation, first the material is going to be frozen. So the temperature is going to be from the initial temperature of the product to the frozen temperature of the material. Then the pressure is going to be reduced significantly. So the material, the ice crystals of the material have a direct transition from the solid states into the gaseous state without having in the liquid phase as well.
Right.
And therefore, in the end, we have this lyophilized product which has the insignificant water content or moisture content, which is going to be between 1 to 4%.
Okay, so it's a way of removing water from the system.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are the advantages of lyophilization?
So lyophilization has so many advantages. Most of the therapeutics or biopharmaceuticals in the liquid form are not stable based on the mobility and also physical and chemical instability. So with the help of the lyophilization, we are able to reduce or block the decomposition reaction, the physical and chemical decomposition reaction in the solid state, and also in some kind of conclusion, we can say that we increase the stability of the material.
Okay.
And also it is going to be very useful for the thermosensitive material because we don't use the high temperature in this material, in this process, and also it reduces the weight and the volume of the material which is going to be dried, and therefore it reduces the cost of the shipping and the storage of the material. And last but not least, it also increases the solubility of the material by decreasing the size of the material which is going to be dried, and increasing the active surface of the material, and in the end creating a porous amorphous material which increases in the end the bioavailability and also the solubility of the material.
Okay. I always get the picture in my mind of instant coffee, you know. It's freeze-dried, it's very porous, then you put it into the hot water and it dissolves immediately. So I guess it's the same situation with a biologic, like a protein, a large molecule that you would use as an active ingredient.
Yes, exactly. That was a good example, and it's going to be exactly the same as for the biopharmaceuticals and nanoparticles, which can be used in the pharmaceutical technology as well.
Okay. So what do you think about the pharmaceutical market size, let's say, for lyophilization and potential growth in that market?
Sure. In the recent studies which was done in the Drug Delivery and Translational Research, it was shown that in the preceding 5 years, the manufacturing of the lyophilization-based products has boosted by 13.5% annually. And also globally, the lyophilization market will likely hike to 2.48-fold by 2032, with a compound annual growth of 8.8%. Besides, it is evaluated that the percentage of these lyophilized biologics in today's market is going to be more than 60%. So in total, I can say that there's a huge demand and a very good market at the moment and also in the future for these lyophilized products.
Okay, great. So thanks for that. I understand freeze drying itself is a multi-step process in which the sample will be dried, right? But can you explain about the actual process steps?
Yeah, sure. So basically, freeze drying has three main stages. The first one is going to be the freezing stage, and the second one is the primary drying stage. The third one is going to be the secondary drying stage. And afterwards, we can also store the material. In the freezing stage, the initial temperature of the material is going to be cooled down to the freezing point so that we have the formation of these ice crystals. And these ice crystals is going to be grown and develop. And then in the second phase, we have the primary drying stage. In the primary drying stage, we have the sublimation. As I already mentioned, we have the direct transition of the solid phase of the material into the gaseous phase without having in the liquid phase.
Yeah.
And this happens by reducing the temperature. Normally, it is going to be between 10 to power minus 5 to 10 to power minus 4 millibars, and also very low temperature, which is going to be between minus 40 and minus 20 degrees.
Okay.
But what is also going to be important is that in the primary drying stage, there is an unaffected water which is going to be inside the matrix of the material. And the sublimation only affects on the frozen water which is going to be inside the material. Therefore, we have the secondary drying, which is going to be based on the desorption. And with the help of this desorption, we can remove the water inside the inside the matrix of the material.
Right.
And afterwards, we have the insignificant water content or moisture content in the material, which is going to be between 1 to 4%. And then you can store the material for the time which is going to be suitable for the material.
Okay. So you have to store it in a certain type of a closed structure.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which is going to be vials or the package which is going to be suitable for the material as well.
Okay. I mean, I think I've also done a type of freeze drying process at home. Let's say I've taken a wet towel and left it on the balcony in this very cold weather and then seen that it's frozen, and you can see the crystals of water on it, and you can actually brush them off, and then the towel is dry.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I think it is going to be a very good example that we can understand the basic of these freeze drying. Very
Right.
good, yeah.
Okay.
That's totally true.
Yeah. So what are the factors influencing the process, the freeze drying process?
So there are so many factors that can affect these freeze drying process, like, for example, the size of the material, the thickness of the material, the active surface of the material, the sample characteristic itself, freezing rate, the also chamber pressure, and also environmental factor. What is going to be important is that we need to optimize and also control these parameters and factors to have the higher efficiency during the freeze drying. Therefore, it is very, very important to know all of these factors that can have an impact on the freeze drying process.
So in the freeze drying process, what is the role of, let's say, a cryoprotector or a lyoprotector in this process?
Sure. As I already mentioned, in the freeze drying system, we have three main stages, which is going to be the freezing stage, primary drying stage, and also the secondary drying stage. In all of these stages, we have the mechanical force and mechanical stress on the nanoparticles and also the biopharmaceuticals, which leads to the aggregation and also instability of the material that we used for the first drying. Therefore, to overcome this solution, we use the cryo and lyoprotectants. Basically, these cryo and lyoprotectants are the inert excipients, which is going to be added to the liquid formulation before the lyophilization to make sure that it is going to be that nanoparticles and the biopharmaceuticals are going to be protected and against the mechanical stress, and therefore it increases the stability, the physical and chemical stability of the nanoparticles and biopharmaceuticals.
Okay.
And therefore, one of the most important part about the cryo and lyoprotectants is the properties of these cryo and lyoprotectants. So basically, these cryoprotectants should be compatible, highly soluble, non-toxic, and also cost-effective.
Okay.
And mainly the concentration which is going to be used in these formulation, different kind of formulation, is going to be between 5 to 15%, which you can also have these cryoprotectants.
Okay. So it sounds to me, you mentioned what it has to be, which criterion it has to fulfill. It seems to me that Isomalt, galenIQ, could be a suitable cryoprotectant for freeze-drying processes. Is there any potential applications in that area?
Yes, of course. The recent studies have shown that Isomalt is a suitable excipient for the freeze-drying due to the physical properties and stability. In one study, it was shown that the crystalline form of the Isomalt has been transformed into the amorphous form of the Isomalt using the freeze-drying, and it was very stable during, and not only after the freeze-drying, but also during its storage at different kind of relative humidity and also the temperature. In another study, it was also shown that it can also help the microspheres, the alginate calcium microspheres, during the freeze-drying process to help it have a uniform shape after the freeze-drying, so as a role of the cryoprotectant. And also in another study, it was shown that these Isomalt has the protein stabilizing functionality during the freeze-drying and afterwards and during the storage time. Therefore, in total, I can say that the Isomalt has a very good potential to be considered as the lyo and cryoprotectant in the freeze-drying to stabilize the biopharmaceuticals and nanoparticles which is used in the freeze-drying process.
Okay, well that sounds fantastic. I mean, we've seen that the market is growing. There is demand for cryoprotectants for pharmaceutical applications. We know that Isomalt, galenIQ, is water soluble, and these studies are showing that it's suitable as a cryoprotectant. Therefore, very interesting. I'm very interested to look further into these studies that you've mentioned that have been published. And yeah, that's great. Looks good for the future. So, Ali, thank you very much today for your input and for joining us, and hope to see you again in the near future.
Thank you very much, Michael, for inviting me. And I'm also very glad that I had this opportunity to give you information about this process, which can be also used in various products and also using Isomalt. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So thank you also for joining today in our Excipient Talk brought to you by galenIQ, and we will see you all again soon.